Hello, I'm Olena Gryniuk, and today we are recording our next episode of SME Banking Conversations in Krakow, in Comarch Innovation Space. Comarch is one of the biggest providers of digital factoring solutions here in CE region, and Poland is the biggest market by the factoring volumes and innovations. And this will be the topic of today's conversation. I'm talking today with Karol Leszczynski, Product Development Manager at Comarch Factoring Platform. Hello, Karol.
Hello, good morning.
I'm very excited to discuss with you the digitalization of factoring, especially for SMEs, and thank you for having me here in your innovation space.
Nice to see you again.
So, as we are here in Comarch Innovation Space, could you tell us more about the space itself and the innovations you present here?
Yes, this is the place when you can learn about the wide range of products that Comarch is offering. What is important to mention is that every visiting person, our headquarters in Comarch, is able to book a free tour here and see this space alone. So we are presenting to the products from different sectors. For example, from financial sectors like factoring, Comarch Open Platform, mobile, and many more. Of course, we have also the different sectors here like e-healthcare, telecommunication, public administration. So this is the place when you can see a wide range of our products.
How big team is involved in the development and support of digital factoring solutions at Comarch?
I think right now it's about 50 people, and what makes me really happy, we are still growing. I think it's also worth to mention that we are working in Agile methodology, and we are working in sprints, of course, usually 2-week sprints. So that means that our clients are able to see every improvement in usually less than 2 weeks, sometimes 4 or 5 days. So I think it's very important right now.
How many people usually are involved in the project from your customer side, like when you are implementing with the bank or with the factoring company? Which capacity is needed?
I think it strictly depends on the implementation of the range of implementation, because I think usually there are many people involved, different people involved in the implementation. For example, project manager, scrum master, testers, analytics, and of course developers, and usually myself. So I think as we are speaking about the implementation, it's about 50, maybe even 30 people. As I mentioned at the beginning, it depends how big is the implementation. It will be different for the large factor or large bank, and a little bit smaller team is needed for the fintechs, for example.
What is your path to Comarch Factoring Platform?
This is a good question, and I think if you want to see about my origins, we need to take a step a few years back. My professional career started at Raiffeisen Bank Poland at the time. I think it was in 2010, and I started as a relationship manager. My daily task was to take care of the portfolio of over 100 clients, and my job was also to gain new clients, cross-sell banking products like, of course, factoring, overdraft loans, investment loans, guarantees, letter of collections, and many more. And at 2015, I decided to focus on one product, which is, of course, factoring. And I think in 2017, I became a head of sales of the southeastern region in Poland.
In Raiffeisen, right?
In Raiffeisen at the time, because later there was a merge with BNP Paribas. And I think when I became the head of sales, this was the time when I truly interested in project management, and product management. And at the end of 2019, I joined the Comarch, and of course I joined the Comarch factoring platform team, and I'm still here.
How does your working day look like now?
I think my typical day is fulfilled with meetings with the clients, with the team, and my main task is to analyze the market, because at the end of the day, we need to be sure that our solution and our proposition for the solution meets the standard of the end user. So we need to know that we are able to fulfill their needs.
Let's talk about markets and trends on the market, on the factoring market. Based on our study that we do every year, and you know that, here in the CE region we have 80, maybe a bit more, banks and factoring companies delivering factoring services to business customers. And from them we have 17 companies that implemented at least online application for the factoring for business or SME customers, because these solutions are really many focused for micros and small businesses, and 12 of them have fully digital factoring process. So my first question to you here: how do you evaluate the Polish market of digital factoring? Because right from this digitalized solution, we have here in Poland the biggest number of them. So how do you evaluate it, and do you consider fintechs as your competitors?
I think the situation from previous years showed that digitalization is necessary, and I think many banks weren't prepared for the stay-at-home regulations. So I think they still need to catch up fintechs, because I think they are showing the trends and they showing the path in some ways. And when I'm thinking about the fintechs, I'm not sure we can call them competitors for the traditional factors or traditional banks, because in my opinion, first of all, they are doing great job in case of education of smaller clients, of micro clients especially. Yeah. Because a few years back, traditional banks and factors didn't want to cover these segments, especially in factoring, for example. And
yes,
I think they are showing how the online process can be done, because the best on the market right now are able to grant a limit in less than 8 seconds. And of course, the fully online process, I think this is amazing. And when we are comparing this to the traditional factors, I think the process right now, it's better right now, it's faster right now. It takes about 5 days. So I think it's also good result right now. We need to remember that fintechs are granting significantly slower amounts of limit, because we are not speaking about the limit of 1 million or 2 million euro. We are above much or less maybe 50,000, maybe 100,000 euro. So the difference is big. But when I'm thinking about SMEs, I think fintechs right now are starting to also touching or covering this segment. And if they are able to build a big amount of clients, they will be able to be more competitive with banks about the price. Because I think right now, especially the price is the issue, because fintechs are much more expensive.
The price is high. Exactly.
The price is a little bit higher, yes, right now, but I think it's changing. I think it's changing, and they are providing, as we mentioned earlier, fully online process. This is very important right now, because the younger generation, in my opinion, they don't want to go to the banks.
Yes, I don't like to go to a bank branch either. So yes, and actually, SMEs for the recent years, I mean, the knowledge of what factoring means as a terminology increased during the last 2 years, actually, among micro and small businesses.
I think factoring is much safer product than simple overdraft loan or investment loan, because the risk diversification is based on few debtors. And I think this is very important, and that's why fintechs saw the opportunity to start the factoring business.
Which challenges do you see banks and factoring companies are facing right now, and how to overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge is when we are implementing the system for a new client. I think it's need to be done in the way that doesn't affect the end user. So in this case, we are talking about the clients of the factor and the employees of the factor. And that's why we strongly recommend to divide this implementation into 2 phases. And the first phase is when we gave the go live system, when of course factor can earn money. We are preparing of course the branding, the logo, and all the necessary legal regulations. And the second phase is when the system is already online, go live, and we are adjusting for the other customer requests.
I know you have a cloud-based software, right, for the factoring companies and banks, which includes, among others, this matching of receivables and payments, automatical upload of the invoice. So could you tell us more about all the functions available?
I think with today's mindset and rapid development of mobile applications, we need to be prepared for, I like to call it, one-stop shop, where everything is in one place. Right now, the end customers expect fully automation. They need to have everything in one place. For example, they want to have integrated ERP systems. They want to, for example, automatically send the reports for external accounting. So this is the direction that we need to face. And I think factoring system should be able to, for example, get every invoices from the ERP system, and only task that end customers need to do is to select these invoices and put them into the purchase. So I think this is the direction right now.
Yes, and click and pay with one click, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
What banks and factoring companies should do? What are the main steps, on your opinion, for the automation of factoring services?
I think, first of all, they need to start to listen to the end customers, because I think it's very important. That's why I'm a big fan of usability test. This is how we started to implement our software. So we are, for example, inviting few clients, of course, from the factors that we are cooperating with, and we are writing our scenarios, and we are asking them to find this scenario in the system. For example, to attach some file for the invoices, etc. And I think this is only right direction right now, because this is why we can understand what they really need, because they are dealing with the system on a daily basis. Every day they need to log in, log out, and see what's happening on the system. So this is why we started doing this. And of course, when we are talking about the back office, the same thing we are doing with factor employees.
What are you working at Comarch right now, and what are plans for the nearest year?
Recently, we finished developing the new version of our front office system, the 4.0 version, which is based on the newest UX technologies. And I think it's important to mention that because everyone is telling about how good factoring system is, what the factoring system should have. But I have one thing that good factoring system shouldn't have. And in my opinion, it shouldn't have user manual, because if the
Totally agree.
yes, because if the end user is not able to navigate through the system intuitively, I think the system is poorly prepared. And right now we are focusing on the, as I'm calling, the back office, on the heart of the factoring system for the factor employees and factor workers, because right now we want to simplify their work as much as we can, because I really like the quote: if you don't talk to your clients, your competition is. If you are not able to provide some solutions for your clients, your competition will provide it. So we want to be sure that factory employees don't waste their time on the unnecessary things to do in the system.
Totally agree with you, Karol. Good luck with it, and thank you.
Thank you
for this
very much.
conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.